So again, this would normally build. So I apologize. If you start on the left, the first shot. So this shows why we get 20, 30s, and 40s commonly in the victim count, and why our default system gives us that. And so we have to change the default system unless we want to keep getting the same numbers. He walks in with his gun, or he pulls it out wherever he is, and he shoots his first person. Our victim count is now at 1. That's only going to go up, and time's only going to move forward. I told you there's a 1 to 4 minute delay between the first shot and the first 911 call. In this example, I made it 1.5 minutes, which is fairly quick. So this is absolutely crucial there. On the first 911 call, about 1.5 minutes in, and we're already using the planning factors, we're already at 16 victims. So for any organization, a church, a school, or a business, if their plan to stop an active shooter requires a 911 call to stop the shooter, they're guaranteed to have double-digit victims, mathematically. Now, how many will it end up being? 20, 50? Now, I don't know. Too many variables. But I know for a fact it'll be past 10 because he will have already shot 10 before the first person makes his 911. I think I used about 30 seconds for the 911 operator to answer it, tell him to calm down and stop screaming, and understand enough to push a radio button. So now at about a little over 2 minute mark, 2.5 minutes, every cop on dispatch is now getting told we have a shooting at XYZ location. By that time, we're already past 20. It's not the cop's fault. They just heard about it. They can't unshoot the 20 people that got shot before they got the radio call. And the cops really can't help the next several that are going to get shot while they travel there. So there on the slide, you'll see police response time. And people that never been in law enforcement probably don't know that term starts when the cops get the radio call. It doesn't start when the incident started, the first shot, minutes before. Police response time starts when they got the call, and it ends when they pull in the parking lot. It doesn't include everything that happens after they arrive on scene. So I made this pretty generous. I made it the famous 3-minute response time. And if you're in a city municipality, you might get that from a city police department. But if your church, business, or school is out in the county and you're waiting on a deputy or a trooper, that could be a very long time. So with a 3-minute response time, the cop showing up 3 minutes after he or she got the radio report, they pull in the parking lot and we're already past 30. That's why we routinely get high 20s, 30s, and 40s for a victim count, because that's what our system is designed to give us. And in this example on the slide, the cop does exactly what we would like, gets out of the vehicle, finds an entrance, gets in the building, closes the distance, and stops the shooter. So we have stopped the shooter. We just stopped him way too late. And nobody did anything wrong. If you look at that slide, that's our system. Everybody did what we expect them to do, and it gives us high numbers. So we got to change our system. The only way I know to change it again is to take what worked. If you look to the far right, the attack ends because the cop got in there and stopped it. But you have to take that and move it back down the timeline. Look up in the top left of the slide. You have to have somebody present. And by present, my definition of that is the person has to be close enough to hear or see the first shot, which means an intended victim. Somebody who was there close enough to hear or see the first shot. And why that's magic is if the person that stops it is close enough to hear or see the first shot, we do not need a 911 call, a radio dispatch, and police travel time or police entry. All that stuff that takes all that time that kills us, we don't need. We can end it in the first 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Hey, Ed, you and I, between the two of us, we have 2 decades or so of law enforcement between the two of us. There's no way in the world that a cop's going to be there in 3 minutes, right? There's just
there is.
I know you said it's generous, but there's no way.
No, they're in 3 minutes from when they were called, not 3 minutes from the start. But response time, that means from when they were called.
Even from then, I would tell you it's 5, 7, 8 minutes based on my experience.
Usually. But even if everything works great, Andy Brown at Fairchild Air Force, the 911 call was the quickest I know of. Dispatch pushed it out. He got there and shot the guy at about, I think, 2 minutes, 36 seconds, but it was still in the 20s. It was still in the 20s. So if the person that stops them isn't there close enough to hear it or see it, then you're going to have, mathematically, it's not the cop's fault, it's the system's fault.